Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see us? Hi, good evening. Welcome again on the weekly Show Me the Money Show property series, right? Now, I saw some of you guys are here with us already. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Mas. Hi, Paresh. Hi, some of you guys who are watching. Same rules, same old rules. If you are watching, hi, say hi to us. Hi, JL. Hi, Jim. And also hi to Sifu later. And what you can do right now is very simple. What you need to do is to share our live stream out to as many people as you can. And if you have friends who are interested into property topics, you do know in our show on a weekly basis, you will get a lot of tips. You will get a lot of insider news. You will get a lot of different special things throughout our live over here. So if you are watching and you do have friends and family that is interested in property series, remember to share, tag them out, so don't let them miss this thing now. So with that, let me say hi to my buddy over here first. Hi, Jim Chan.
Hello everyone. Hi JL. Right, great to see you all again. Weekly Show Me the Money Show property series, and today we're going to talk about the risks of investing in properties. Now we see Paris writing over here. Hello, Seafood, JL, and Jim. Good to learn more and more. Thank you. Now that is a great thing that we have ever do, man. By coming to this live over here, every single week you coming to this live, you learn something new. Every single time you come in, then you see us, you see some hi, they get some new information, latest information. Now this is a very good platform for us to share informations, great, grab some news over here. Now if you feel this is also very good to you, what you can do is share this live to as many people as you can, so everyone's benefited. Because right now, today, we have hit our recent high of the new cases of coronavirus in Malaysia. We have about 4,490 something, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's a new digit, uh new first digit, for the reasons high. Right now is about 4,000 over already. Now if you still thinking that, having a job right now, making money right now, everything is still safe now, I have to tell you, you need to have another stream of income. All right, you need to learn what is investment. You need to learn how to make another stream of income. Now, when you wanted to come into today's topic, which is property, then you might be thinking a lot of, property, a lot of risks. I'm very scared, very worried. Now, today we're going to talk about the risk. If you want to know the risk of investing in property, today is the best time. Why? Because every single time we talk about good things about property, today we talk about the negative side, the risk that which everyone worried about and which everyone wanted to know what is the risk of investing in properties. But with that, let us welcome our wealth creation strategist, Sifu Ernie. Let's welcome.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Yes.
Hi, Sifu. How are you, Sifu?
Okay. Waiting for you to come over tonight later.
Don't tell publicly lah. Later they all think what we are doing.
Why cannot come over to make money, one man? Must come over to do. Hey, people want to have sex, they can have sex in the afternoon. What the hell? You think people have sex at night one, is it? People can have sex anytime, cari perempuan anytime. No need to cari perempuan at night one.
Okay, can. So guys, remember, I'm going over to actually make money, not to do something hanky-panky that Anyway, like Steve would say, if we want to make love, okay, we can make it during the afternoon or evening. We don't have to do it now. Now, with that, Steve, great to have you here again on the weekly show. And today we want to go on the other side, the dark side of it. Now, we have been talking about, the positive side of buying property. We always say we can make money this, make money that, but there are also a lot of people out there, not just in Malaysia, in the US, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Southeast Asia, everywhere, do have people died. Literally died. They jump off the building and things like that because of property investment. So let's talk about the negative side of property investment today. So what is your perspective on this thing? Because you are a very positive guy.
Yeah, nowadays people no need to get any properties, jump off building one. Nowadays people become influencer, also can jump off building one, then saved by people, then go and borrow along money, then go to Genting Highlands, go and gamble. So no need to buy properties. Also people want to pretend jump off building. Then you see, So you want to become influencer, want to go and bluff people, cheat people, also can jump off buildings. So if you are YBB this, YBB that, whatever be lah. So don't YBB this, YBB that lah. Huh? Okay, so what you want to ask? What property? So who wants to jump off where?
Okay, now you see, if we are looking at this property investment right here, it's a big investment. Now we are talking about buying into something that is 35 years commitment, or even for some of the older people, it could be 20 or 25 years commitment. And it's 6-digit thing. It's a 6-digit thing. So how can it be so wonderful, like us say, it's good time to buy into it when we are in crisis like this? A lot of people may not have a job in the coming 1 week or 2 weeks. So why is it so positive? Why do we say it's so good to invest, but why is it not bad to do it?
So many properties actually got cash back for you, ma. So while you still have a job and you still have the pay slip with you, right? So you use the pay slip, go and quickly buy, then they go and cash back out to you. You can actually survive based on the cash back, you know. So you can use the cash back to pull through for the next 6 months. You see, Jim is like, never heard this before, right? So a lot of times people, they just need to go and buy a property. You can actually find the properties that can give you cash back up to about 60,000, 120,000, especially when the properties are completed. When the properties are completed, that means they can even cash back to you even more. So if you don't have a job, you go and get the cash back. You can actually survive based on the cash back by paying the property, pay off some of your debts, and also roll enough to get a job or start a small little business for you to do better. So I would actually go and buy a property to be able to do better in this such situation right now. And a lot of developers are giving so much cash back so that you can actually get cash out, so to do a lot of things. Question is, what do you do with the cash? Do you know how to optimize the cash that is actually given out to you at the end or before you even buy the property? So that's what I would do as an entrepreneur. I was just sharing with Andrew and Cheryl and Andrew just now, telling them that, you know, one of the reasons why I can become a good stock and property investor is because of my entrepreneurial business foundation. It's because of my understanding on how to become an entrepreneur and also become a business owner. I am able to understand how do you finance your whole entire financing of your life. You know, a lot of people get stuck in trouble because they don't understand financing. If they go to a university, you know, like Karen or Alicia, you know, I don't know what university they go to, they learn finance to learn how the bank function and all. We are not the banks. We don't function like a bank. So what do we function? We function like how we need to be able to finance our properties, finance our education, finance our life. So business environment allows you to be able to become a better individual, understanding how you can actually achieve financial freedom by leveraging, right? Using other people's money for everything. You can use other people's money to leverage on it to build your businesses. If you don't have a job, like to answer your question just now, why would you go and buy a property if I don't even have a job? You see how I twist the whole entire thing around? Precisely why you don't have a job. That's why you go and buy a property to take the money so that you can use that money to be able to survive. Because you still have a job. You still have the last 6 months. If you wait for another month or 2 more months, then you don't have the opportunity to buy, because then you have the break on your income statement or your bank statement. While if you just lost your job, you're about to lose your job, I will quickly go and buy a property that has got cash back. I will use that money to be able to then build my business or sustain myself longer. Yun Lo here say what? Yun Lo say, wow, how come Sifu so clever one? If not so clever, also not your Sifu lah, Yun Lo. You see, this is how we need to think. We need to keep on thinking how we can leverage on the situation that we're in to be able to keep on growing our wealth. That's called wealth creation. That's life, you know. That's how you need to keep on figuring out how you can sustain, survive. Buy more time. The more time you buy, you'll be able to use whatever finances you have to be able to come back stronger. A lot of people wait to the very last minute. They use their properties too late, right? Or they use their properties too early. So you need to know at the right time, you got to use the right strategies for you to sustain, buy more time so that you can actually use those opportunities to grow your business or be able to leverage on situation to be able to sustain longer. That's what I would do, right?
All right. Thank you, Sifu. Thank you, Sifu, on that. But before I pass the stage to Jim, right? I would like to hear from you that if I would ask you to list 3 risks, okay? 3 risks in investing into property. What will be the 3 things that you want to highlight to our audience over here? Because I think it's important to highlight to them so that they can either avoid it or either they can be aware of it.
I think in all investment category assets, you know, doesn't matter whether it's investment into the stock market, the property market, crypto market, and whatever not. I always tell people that do not know what they're doing. The biggest danger in investing into property or any other investment class is always not knowing what you are investing into. A lot of people just go and invest into things because they heard a rumor. They think that, oh, the stock market is going to go up, they go and buy, right? Or they heard from an auntie, uncle's, dog's friend's cousin who say this property is going to make money one, they go and buy. So the problem is a lot of people, they don't know what they're investing into. They have no idea about what they're investing. They just follow. They listen to a rumor and they think it's a good buy, they go and buy. After 5 years later, they then realize, oh shit, the property never came up because the developer, I don't even know who they are, disappeared or never was able to complete the property. So a lot of people's biggest mistake is they don't know who or what, they just buy based on rumors, right? So that's the number one biggest mistake that I would like to highlight to everybody. So if you don't know what you're doing, you better make sure you do your own homework. I always tell my students, I can only analyze for you to give you the facts and the data. At the end of the day, you need to make the decision. You need to decide whether that's a good investment for you because everyone's financial position is different. My financial position, my ability to be able to finance and withstand the pressure is very different from you. I may be able to hold, you may not be able to hold. You buy a property, you are not able to even finance the monthly bank installment before even the project is ready, and you can't rent it out, you can't even pay that couple hundred ringgit. So I do not know your financial position, so that's very dangerous of not knowing without doing your own homework to your personal finance position, right? So that's number one mistake. Number two is, obviously that leads to the second one, is that you have never done your own financial screening. Why is the financial screening important? Financial screening is to make sure that you know what is your debt service ratio, what is your total income divided by your total commitments, because I don't know your commitments. Every one of us here has got different commitments. Every one of us here have got different kind of money coming in from different places. Some of us have got multiple streams of income. Some of us here don't have multiple streams of income. Some of us here have one single income and we rely and depend on that. So that could be a big danger. So I will always advise people to make sure every 3 to 6 months, I will do a personal financial screening. I will identify exactly where I am currently as far as my total income, multiple streams of income coming in, and my total commitment that is going out. That will give you a good idea as to what kind of loan eligibility you can actually have for your properties. Because when it comes to loan, buying a property is easy, Being able to get the loan is another question altogether. And that all depends on the facts and also your own personal credibility. Whether you have been consistent with the way you pay your bills, as simple as your PTPTN loan. That's why I always tell my students, you better pay your PTPTN loan. You won't pay, you get in trouble because it's now appearing on your CCRIS and your CTOS. So it's very important for us to make sure that all our credit cards are paid, all our bank loans, everything are paid accordingly so that it doesn't show up badly on our CCRIS and our CTOS. So I think the first one is always making sure we know what we are investing into. Make sure we do our homework. Number two is make sure we do our own personal financial screening. And number three, I think the biggest mistake, number three, is that we always buy more than what we are capable of. Why? Because there are a lot of teachers out there. They always like to sell you properties, so they just tell you to buy properties that is a lot higher, and they tell you to do illegal things like do compressed loans where you buy 3 or 4 properties at one go, submitting to all the different banks at the same time, and they try to cheat the system. So when you do things like this, you are actually getting yourself in trouble. So it's very important for a lot of people to understand that you got to be responsible, because at the end of the day, the person signing on the dotted line for the sales and purchase agreement and the loan agreement with the bank is you. Your name, your responsibility. So you got to be very careful when you go and do all these compressed loans, which is very, very dangerous and is also illegal. So please do not do things that are illegal that will get you in trouble for the long run. All these kind of things over here doesn't help in the long run, because once you get blacklisted by the financial system, then you're stuck. So the 3 things over here: number 1, make sure you don't buy based on rumors, because a lot of people make that mistake. Number 2, make sure you do your own personal financial screening. You know your output, how much money actually goes out and how much money actually comes in. That's what's going to help you. And thirdly is make sure that you don't do those illegal stuff where you buy like 3, 4. They think they are cool and they think they can buy 4 properties at one go, and they get a lot of cash back out, and then they become a bankrupt 3 or 4 years down when they are not able to sustain and maintain their loan itself. So those are the 3 main problems that I see most of the time, 3 biggest mistakes of first-time home buyers.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Sifu, for sharing that. I mean, to make a conclusion over here, guys, I think to actually conclude what Sifu just said with you is that you must know what you are doing. The bigger risk is that you do without knowing what you are doing exactly and what property investment is all about. I think it same goes to when you invest into a business or stock market or property. I think it's all the same thing. As long as you know what you are doing, you know how the game played, then a lot of this risk is actually avoided. But if you don't, I think that would be your bigger risk of not knowing what you are doing and quickly run into the risk that you may not know how to manage. So with that, I hope you guys catch some goldfish over here. And yep, Jim, back to you.
All right, thank you, JL and Sifu. Now I see some of our friends here who have just came in. Say hi to us. All right, hi, Isaac, hi, Karen, hi, everyone. Now, for those who have just joined in the live, you do not just join and watch. What you can do is share this live out. You know, if you gain some new information, if you gain something here, now what the least thing you can do is to just share this live out so that you can benefit others, not just to yourself, to others, so that everyone gain and everyone learn something today now. And when talk about this risk in investing in property now, I would like to share something here because I myself and also JL, we do talk to a lot of the young people, and we do teach them on the financial side or how they do manage. Because a lot of young people, they say, you know, they watch a lot of YouTube, watch a lot of Facebook, then they think, and then they already know, you know, all rich people become rich is because of investing in property, investing in a lot of things. You know, one thing is property, and then they wanted to become rich by investing fast. Now, this is also could be one of the risk and also mistake that young people think that they wanted to do it very fast. You know, they wanted to make everything fast. Now, I think which is also the point that what Sifu had just highlighted, the third point, I would put it a conclusion as an overgeared. You know, they think they can do like that, and then they overgear, they make it fast. So everything to put it fast from one property become two to four, four to five. I mean, these things to young people, if you wanted to start your property, if you wanted to invest and make money, everything has to be bit by bit. Sifu always told us that because Sifu also very concerned about myself and JL. We are very young that time when we learned property investment from Sifu. I think we are about 17 years old to 18 years old. We learned from Sifu, and we were very excited, wanted to make money, and we are very excited, wanted to become rich at a very short period of time. So you see, so if you are young people watching here, the things I can advise you and share to you is do not rush on investing in what you wanted to invest. You know, if you cannot, then you don't go for beyond what you can do, like what Sifu had just said. And of course, most importantly, to solve all the issues or all the risks or all the problems that Sifu have just highlighted just now, the one solution and the only one solution that can help you is called educations. Now, with educations, we give you, and with the right educations, you'll be able to know what you are investing. Not just know what you're investing, you also know how you're going to manage the money before and after. Now, before you buy a property, you need to manage, you know, your income stream to show that, to prove that you can borrow loans and you can get loans from to buy the property. After you get the properties already, probably some of the property have some cash back, like what Sifu have just said. All right, cash back. All right, and then you get the cash.
Okay, Jim is hanged. Okay, anyway, because Jim is lagged, I will continue. If you buy cashback, you need to be careful because a lot of these young people, they buy cashback already with the 100 over 1,000 in their hand, they will definitely use it to buy something else. So learning how to do it is very, very important. Now, while I'm speaking to that and use the second question to ask Sifu, I would like to take a short note over here. If you are listening from us over here, I saw about 30 people watching us right now. Guys, be aware that we are here to share our opinion for education purpose. Now, if you hear something from us that you feel, oh, I want to invest into it immediately, please think twice. Why? Because you need to be responsible for your own decision making in all the investment that you made. It's either property, stock, or business, doesn't matter. Be responsible for your own investment. Now, the second thing that we're gonna ask Sifu over here is very simple. Now, Sifu, just now you have just talked about the three things already. Okay, about risk. Now, I want to go into a sector. Now, if we are talking about the risk investing into a new project, existing project, which is secondary or auction project, which one do you think it's the most risky decision to make, because a lot of these people nowadays, especially have a little bit cash one, they went inside auction, and I heard there are a lot of bad things happen. So I would like to hear your opinion over here.
I was just speaking to I think 2 weeks ago, you asked me, I told you why I don't like auction projects, right? And also just now today, I was actually talking to a real estate agent, right, who focuses on auction properties. I was just checking out the auction market and things like that. They have lots of auction properties. Obviously, why? Because I believe a lot of these auction properties come from a lot of those people who did compressed loans, and they kind of stuck right now, especially these past 2 years. Nobody knew the pandemic was going to come, but everyone knows the bubble of the property is going to be busting, especially for those people who bought like 4 or 5 properties at one go. And there's so many being auctioned off. So those are properties, new properties, but they are being auctioned off, right? So there are also, of course, those that are having the older properties that the owners probably lost their job, or the owners probably are in a financial crunch right now that they need to have that cash. So they need to sell their property. So they go and auction it off, and they can't pay the bank, right? So that's why it's being auctioned off. Now, do I personally like auction properties? I usually don't like auction properties. And what I explained to the agent was this, right, who focus on auction properties. There's a reason why they are auctioned off. Means to say, the most fundamental thing is that the property that these owners bought gave them bad feng shui. Right? It's as simple as that. The properties that these owners bought gave them bad feng shui. And that's why they have to sell the property through auction. Right? So usually auction properties are many reasons why they have to auction it off. They are usually because of some financial difficulty challenge right now. So what brought them to that financial difficulty challenge? Their property, perhaps, is causing them that reason. So to me, feng shui of a particular property is good for some people, is bad for someone else. So you better make sure that if the person is having a bad one, I'm not saying it will be bad for you, but to me, it's already not that good of a sign. Of course, if you hear the word auction, it means that you're supposed to get way below market value. You're looking at about, 40%, 50%, even 70% of below market value. But the reality is that the more below market value, the more discount you get from this kind of auction properties, means to say that you should be expecting much, much more problems ahead, right? And there are things like LACA, which is the loan agreement. Then you have the non-LACA. You have the strata title issue. You have to deal with the land office. You have to deal with the banks. You have to go to high court. There are just so much freaking headache sometimes that I personally don't like to deal with that kind of problems. I prefer like to be clean, and at the same time, in clean projects means to say the sub-sale market, you can actually buy directly off someone, and you can actually be making good money from those that you buy off someone immediately, because the project is already there in a matured market, and the market is already there to rent that existing product. That will then allow you to have positive cash flow, or be able to withstand that and be able to sell it a couple years down the road. So I personally like to deal with just sub-sale markets if I'm going to buy something, and I'm going to be making sure that I look at the new property developers that are about to be getting ready. Why? Because then once it's ready, I can rent it out immediately. Then I'll be able to get a tenant and be able to cover my expenses and my monthly income. Then I can continue buying. So that's the game of property investment. So personally, I don't like auction properties. Personally, I prefer sub-sale market or new property that's coming up in the next 6 months down the road.
But if we are looking at our own stay, if we are buying into it for own stay, will this auction be a pretty good option, because they are a lot cheaper than them buying from another person?
Well, you see, bottom line is to each his own, right? That's why I always say you must buy because it suits you or it fits you, right? The whole idea is that what makes you want to buy an auction property? Are you having a longer period of time to stay there? And some people buy auction properties. They also need to make sure that the auction property is a freehold or leasehold. Freehold, you can have a longer period of time to play with. If it's a leasehold, you better be checking how many years left you have in the leasehold. Sometimes it's been so long, and then you are not able to renew the lease for another 20-some years. Then you're kind of stuck. You can't really sell the property. It means to say you plan to stay there for the rest of your life. So it really depends on what is your objective over here. I think that's very important. Justin Ling here said, Dear Sifu, feng shui is subjective. As long as the rental yield is able to be justified and other due diligence are made, buying auction properties may be one of the good options. I suppose Justin Ling is either a real estate agent who focus on auction or not. I said, as I said just now, to each his own. what is bad feng shui may not be bad feng shui for me or another person, because the property may be bad for that person. It already give me a bad taste before I even go in. That's why I say auction properties are a lot more affordable and cheaper. There must be a reason, right? If every single one is giving you 50 and above below market value discounts, everybody be buying it. So unless you are someone who focuses on auction properties, you are very familiar with it, I would not advise you to do auction properties at all. That's one. Number two is that a lot of people need to understand your feng shui and my feng shui, your party and my party is different. So what will work for you may not work for me. So I don't like to go in there to deal with that feng shui that already given you a bad feng shui. Why? Because it's already giving a bad taste from the, it's called first impression. I am very particular about first impression, and auction properties are not the only properties that are out there. There are plenty of direct motivated seller owners that are out there. I don't need to look for auction properties. I can go directly. Why? Because I've got the banker friends who tells me who are those who've been defaulting. I've got lawyer friends who tells me that they are serving notice to these people. I've got real estate agents who are telling me that there are a lot of people are listing with them. So I've got so many channels to identify sellers who are motivated to sell. So, I mean, it depends on what you want to focus on. Personally, I don't like auction properties. I'm not saying it's not good. Some people who like it, all the best to you. But I personally don't like, because JL is asking me, what do I prefer? I prefer sub-sale market because I do better with sub-sale markets, and I don't like to deal with all the legalities in the auction market. It takes up more time from me, and I don't want to deal with that, right?
Right. Thank you, Sifu, for sharing that. We also thank Justine, if I'm not mistaken, for raising up your opinion over here, which is good. I mean, nobody is perfectly correct. Nobody is perfectly, totally wrong. So everyone has their own perspective. And I also believe you have agreed to the statement where auction property best to purchase location that you are familiar with. I think that is a very good statement that is made by experienced people, and everyone should take it as a reference. Now, since Jim is back, I believe he has something to say. Jim, back to you.
Hi everyone. Sorry, my laptop just now restart. I think every time I want to give you something good, then the God just wanted to choose to not give you. Now I just almost wanted to give you something so awesome just now, where I wanted to benefit everyone who have just watching to our live here, because we have just talked about the education is just so important. I think everyone also here writing here to agree that before you even invest in everything, education is the very important one for you to start before you even do anything, before you even buy. After you buy, how you're going to manage your money. Now, this is something that I wanted to give you. Now, how many of you here want to have good stuff, great stuff? Please type 1 in the chat box. Now, every single one, if you are watching here in the live, if you wanted to get some great stuff, all right, type a 1 in the comment box. Because every single time when I want to give you something, I sure got something pop up, then like that one, just like just now, the restart, So if you want to get this, you better type in fast before I knock off, before I shut down here. What's everyone? If you want to get some awesome, great stuff, type 1 in the comment box. Come on, type 1 in the comment box, because I'm almost going to give something that is very, very close to you. Something that is very, very close to you and is very awesome. If you want, you type 1, because I'm just going to announce it right now. Now, for those who have just typed 1, all right, we have a private sessions tomorrow. All right, you never hear wrong. Tomorrow. I'm not talking about 1 month later or 1 week later. I'm talking about we have a private sessions. It's going to teach you about property investment in a very advanced level. Today's topic is just going to highlight some mistake, highlight some risk. We're not going to teach you so much because we only have 45 minutes here. If you want to have a lot more information, a lot more exclusive information, now tomorrow we have one exclusive private sessions. If whoever had just typed 1 in a comment box here, please check your inbox later. Please check your inbox later, because we're going to send you a link, a Zoom link, that you will be able to attend our exclusive sessions tomorrow. And we're going to talk about property investment. Now, today's topic may hook you up. all this good idea, all this good stuff, whatever you have talked about, I wanted to learn more, man. I haven't started anything. Can I learn more? Now, tomorrow is the best time for you. I'm not talking about next week, it's tomorrow. So please make yourself free tomorrow. And for those who have just typed one, check your messengers later. Check your Facebook messengers later, because we're going to send you the link. Everyone is just starting to type already. 111. Okay, now keep typing the one, because you will receive the message after the live sessions over here. Now, while you're typing the one, let me just pop out one question to Sifu now. I think when talking about risk in property investment, I think Sifu faced a lot compared to myself and JL because of his years of experience. Now, Sifu, I would like to hear a story. I mean, a real story, and no matter from you, your personal, or whoever, your friends or in business, that you have something like I almost make a mistake, or I made a mistake in this property investment. Property, 我買錯樓啊. You know, a lot of people say, I'm buying wrong stuff already. This one stuck or something like that. And what caused it happen, and what is the story behind it? Probably Sifu can share more a real story, so that we can hear from a real story, and then we can take note and learn from that. Sifu.
I think I'm quite blessed lah. Why I'm quite blessed? You know, I've always learned from a lot of good property teachers. I think the best lesson of property is that I've always done my own homework, right? Even though I learned a lot of things over the years, I've read all the international bestsellers for property writers. I believe, you know, and that's why I go and do my homework. I always learn. I always take courses and I learn, and I will learn everything I can by going on site and visit as many properties. Even like this past entire 2-3 months, you know, I've been so busy speaking to property agents, visiting property sites non-stop, checking out properties from developers to sub-sale market. I drive around the areas that I'm looking at. You know, you all know that I focus on a few areas, especially Damansara. So I drive around in Damansara looking for sale signages, and I look at all these things continuously. I check out the market prices. So I do a lot of homework. So I've been very blessed because of my hard work. That's why I've personally not made any property mistakes. I mean, I'm quite good in that sense, that all my properties have actually helped me make a lot of money and also be able to sustain my businesses because of my property investment. So that's my personal. Now, but I've taught a lot of people, and over the years, of all the sessions that I've conducted, a lot of the more experienced people especially, I noticed that the biggest problems that they have is a lot of them bought properties. Let's say, for example, right, someone bought a property about 30 years ago, and they just waited because they stayed in the house, so they made a lot of money from staying in the house, right? And then like 20, 30 years later, they started to buy the latest recent properties. And the biggest problem is this, is that what worked 30 years ago with the banks, with all the term loans and all the flexi loans and all the different things that used to work 30 years ago is totally different today. So what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of the biggest problems with the more senior, or anyone here is watching and listening, that you already bought a property or you are a property investor, you think that you have 2 or 3, and you start to think that you are so freaking experienced. I want to tell you that the game changes every single year, because the government has got new real property gain tax laws. They have new home ownership campaigns. They've got things that you don't have to pay that you used to pay, and that's why it makes it a good time to buy. There are a lot of different legalities have changed, right? From law, taxation, government policies. So all these things keep on changing, and the loans packages that the banks are creating continuously change. Unless you are consistently looking at properties, talking to developers, talking to bankers, talking to lawyers, like what I do have, I'm sure both of you know, I've got my own mastermind group, very senior, seasoned property investors group, from developers to speakers to people who specialize in different areas, from lawyers to bankers. They are in my group. Because they're in my group, I get the latest information about all these things, and that's very important. So the biggest mistake I know a lot of people make is that they make assumption that it's the same. Because they apply their loan with one bank and one bank reject them, then they give up. Or they apply with one bank thinking that it's going to be okay because they think one bank say that it's going to be approved, and they take that blindly, they go and sign and they pay a 10% deposit. One of those stupid things that, I'm not talking about booking fee, I'm talking about signing the sales and purchase agreement without getting their loan approved yet. Some people actually believe that they're going to be getting it. And I was having this discussion with the agent today. He said, sure, still got such thing, man. Got people still actually go and sign the S&P without. Yes, because there are still developers who will get a lot of first-time home buyers who really don't know what they're doing. So they think that the process is you are supposed to sign and sales and purchase. Why? Because I'm buying a property. So they think that they are buying the property, so they sign and sales and purchase, they pay a 10% deposit, then they cannot get the loan. So a lot of people don't even understand that the most fundamental is you better be making sure that you can get a loan before you even think about signing the S&P. This is still one of the mistakes that I've listened and hear a lot of people making. So if you're first-time home buyers out there, or you're not experienced, no, the game has not changed. You must make sure you get a loan first before you actually sign the S&P. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes people make, and there's still people making that mistake today. All right?
All right. Now, thanks, Sifu. Now, I think to wipe out all the people confusions and also their concern on investing in property, they always think that the risk of property is something that very scary. You know, I risk wrong one time. I faced one time mistakes in property investment. It's a $500,000 kind of things. You see, now to wipe up all this concern, can I ask this very critical questions here? I think for both Sifu, if you all have any ideas, you all can also share some of your ideas over here. Now, put away all the humans, how they manage the money. You know, we don't talk about, humans do not know how to manage this, manage that. We don't talk about the human issue. And put away all, I want to make how much. I don't have target on how much I need to make from property investment. Can I say, if I invest in a property, all right, as long as there is human beings staying there, not ruler like harimau is there, monkey is there, not that kind. It's a place that can stay in a place. As long as I bought it, all right, I blindly just bought one property. 10 years later, all right, I will make money or I will not lose anything. Can I say something like that, or can I hear from both Sifu?
And let JL answer.
Can I hear, JL?
Okay, let me repeat your question over here. You are saying that if I just blindly, I don't know anything, I just blindly buy into a property, whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter, the location and things like that, would that be a good thing or bad thing, even though I do not have the knowledge? Is that what you mean?
No, I would like to say that after 10 years, after I bought one property, after 10 years, I don't care how much I make, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to make sure that buying property is going to be safe. Okay. I don't want to target, I want to make 1 million with this property. No. Okay. As long as it also not losing, can already. Can we be saying like that?
Sure. I mean, to answer directly, I will say yes. The reason why I say yes is very simple. Instead of you using the money, like let's say today you say you got money, you want to buy a property, don't care, make money or not make money. Instead of you using that money to buy some other thing, like maybe a Porsche, or maybe a luxury watch, or maybe a luxury brand, things like that, I would rather you buy into a house. Now, you see, in Cantonese, there is a saying, "Yao nga zhe tao." So if today I simply buy into a property, don't care whether it's bad or good, okay, that doesn't mean, that doesn't care how much money I'm going to make. End of the day, 10 years later, it's still going to be something good, Why? Property prices always rise. It's always rises. So if 10 years later, you may not need that property now. It's just like me, the current house that I'm staying in, 10 years ago, before my mother bought it, I don't even know I'm going to use it to, build my property journey, property empire. So I didn't know the usage of the property. But 10 years later, once you look at it already, it could be something that is very good for you to leverage so that you can do something with that property. Now you buy into it without knowing the objective. I think it's fine. Instead, rather you go and buy something that is useless. You buy into a property. End of the day, even though you do not know how to use it, still is a roof for you to stay in. So that's me. If you ask me, definitely a yes. You buy a property is definitely a good decision to buy in. Even you want to use it to make money or not to make money, it doesn't matter. End of the day, it's an asset. So that's my opinion over here.
But what about Sifu?
Why don't you ask me that question one more time so I can answer you more directly what I hear one more time?
Simple. I think a lot of people worried about investing in property because of the risk of buying wrong lah, or risk of owing $500,000 kind of things, and it's a stuck kind of thing, and do not know how to manage it now. We put away on, I buy this property because I want to make $1 million. It's no. We don't care about making money first. We don't care about people do not know how to manage the cashback and properties kind of thing. We talk about, is property something safe for us to go in? We want to give confidence to whoever is watching the live here, because when we talk about property investment, they probably don't have the confidence. Why not I go buy something more solid, property, as I'm very worried because it's $500,000 kind of loan. Now, can I say, like, if I buy property, all right, no matter at which place, as long as the place got people to stay, not like hutan, I'm not talking about hutan, but it's a residential area, property. I bought one. 10 years later, I also don't expect. I just expect not to lose money. Or probably I get some profit from capital gain. Now, will it always happen? Simple.
No, my answer is no. All right. Why? Because to me, property has to be in the right location. It doesn't matter how people sell you the idea of today you can stay in some place in Semenyih. As long as data connectivity is good, you'll be okay. Look like COVID, you don't need to be in the city. Some people compare with what's happening in America, right? A lot of people who are living in New York, they actually move out because they don't need to stay in the city and it's very expensive. They all move back hometown because they are allowed to work from home. Just like Google, by I think July or September, they announced that from then on, all the Google staff have option. They either come back to work in the office in Google campus, or they actually can allow to work remotely. We are far from that because their infrastructure in America is a lot better than what we are currently. So in Malaysia, if you ask me, if I were to invest here, unless I live in the area, for example, if I live in Rawang my whole entire life, and I want to upgrade, then I would buy Rawang for myself to stay and upgrade in Rawang. If I am a person who is living here in Damansara, and in fact, Cheryl just sent me a visual. Of this picture, which is quite cute. The title of the poster says, "Do you want to live in an English home?" So it looks like an English home in Rawang. My response to her is no. Why? Because I'm not a Rawang person. I have nothing against people who live in Rawang, but I am a Damansara man. And I'm a Damansara man who grew up here, who wants to live in this community. So I only look at properties that I want to invest in the areas that I'm familiar with, because I know the pricing, I know the game over here, and it's a community there and the businesses that I built over here. So I don't understand Rawang, and I'm not interested in Rawang. So unless I'm from Rawang, I won't be buying that. So I wouldn't be buying a place just because there are people staying there. I want not just because there are people staying there. You see, there's a difference between ROI of 10% and ROI of 1,000%. I am an investor. So if I'm an investor, I can only live in one house. If I'm staying in that house, it's a different game. So the objective of why I buy the house is very important. When I buy the house, I need to decide, am I staying in this house or am I buying this for investment? So if I'm buying for investment, it has to be a house or a home that is going to be able to rent out to people who can give me the highest ROI. Means to say, people all are rushing in. There must be high demand for that. It's business, right? It is economics of scarcity and versus demand and supply. I want a lot of demand for that project that I'm going to be investing into. So how do I know that? I know that by the population in the particular area. Look at the numbers of economic stats in different areas. I'll be looking into that to know how much population there's in that area, right? And do I see that the government has already put in place all the infrastructures for things to be happening, not happening soon or going to happen? I get very worried when I see those things. I always like to see when the government says they're doing something, it's done. And the projects are building around an infrastructure connectivity that is done, not that they are planning to do. And a lot of people like to believe what the developers promise, There'll be an MRT over here. There'll be an LRT over there. There'll be this highway here. Hello, by August, whether the same government or not, so we don't know. So I don't like to think and listen to all this future of what's going to be happening. I like to see what the government has done and the projects developers are building around it. That's usually how I look into it. So to answer you is, No, I will not buy a property just because there are people staying there. I will buy a property depending on my objective. If I buy that I'm staying and I'm from the area, I'm cool with it because I stay in one house. So meaning say all other properties that I buy into are not for me to stay yet. It's for an investment, and for that purpose, I look for the things that help me get the highest ROI. Okay?
Now we have some message over here from Kwan Wing Pan. Some properties after you purchase can make you cry. The Sarah Forest, for example. Now I think he he either sees someone who bought the property that he just mentioned and then make the person cry, or she is the one person who bought the property and make cry now. Thank you so much for engaging with us over here. Of course, whatever Sifu JL and Sifu shared over here is based on the personal opinions. Now, in investment, everyone have different flavor on different decisions they wanted to make. Now, the most importantly is we are here to make money. Correct or not? For those who are watching here, you are not thinking that, I want to buy a dream house to stay. Let's watch this live first. No, I don't think you are here to just watch our live because of you want to move to a new house. I think you are here because of you wanted to make money through property investment. And this is the reasons why you stay till now. And we have so many friends who just came in. Thank you, Nelson Lee, for saying awesome to us. Hello, everyone. Now, for those who have just typed 1, thank you so much. You have just typed 1 and we will send you the link. Now, for those who have not typed 1 yet, or for those who just joined in, I was saying that we will gonna have an exclusive sessions to teach you more advanced information on how you can invest property in the right way or in a great way so that you can make a lot more in property investment. Now, by having investment in property investment, by you invest in property, I think what Sifu has just mentioned is very great, which is you're buying a property that can make you thousands ROI. Now, by you making 100 or 1,000 ROI kind of things, you need to have lower cost of property. Your entry level of the property has to be very low. That means what I'm talking about here is below market value. Now, your neighbor bought the property at 400,000. You bought the same property, same unit, same size at 320,000. Your entry level is already cheaper than your neighbor. When you wanted to sell at the same price with your neighbor, you also make about 80,000 already. Now, if you wanted to know more about below market values property, where is it right now? Where are you now? Now, you have to join tomorrow's sessions. Tomorrow, as a lot more about this, how you can find a below market value deals, how you can find. If you wanted to know how you can find, now, tomorrow is a great session for you to join. Because tomorrow, I can just tell you, we have only 100 limit seats only. If max out already, we are not letting you to join in anymore, because if you want, you have to just type 1 to grab the seat right now. We are only giving out for those who have just typed 1 in a chat box, and you go and check your inbox later. And we're going to have the sessions tomorrow. All right? Tomorrow, I'm not talking about next day, the next week is tomorrow. If you wanted to learn about property investment, type 1 now, and we shall see you tomorrow. Now, with that, we have come to the end of the sessions over here. Thank you so much, everyone who have just joined our weekly Show Me the Money Show property series. And we have today just talked about the risk of investing in property. I think we have just highlight few points here to avoid you to make the mistake of investing in property. But to avoid is not just enough. If you want to learn and overcome it and make a good money in property investment, tomorrow is a must attend sessions. Make yourself free tomorrow and get the link and go in and join. And you will learn a lot, and you will know where to find the below market values property. With that, thank you so much for those who have just joined our live over here. Thank you, JL. Thank you, Sifu. And we shall see you tomorrow sessions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.